A lot of us know about Pinterest and make like aesthetic boards and stuff like that, but not a lot of people make original pins on Pinterest. Today I'm going to share with you my personal journey and why I started making them, how I create a month's worth of pins and schedule them out in an hour, where I create my pins and like the actual process of creating those pins, and then some other general tips in case you want to get into using Pinterest. Last September, I saw this TikTok and it was giving the advice to post all of your TikToks onto Pinterest to gain extra traffic. I thought, that's kind of weird. I never thought to do that, but like, let's try it. In the video, they had gotten really good results. So I posted a couple of my TikToks onto Pinterest and they blew up. There were so many like reactions and likes and comments on these TikToks, and new people found my content. I found new book lovers to relate to. It made me wonder though, however, what would happen if I start posting more of my content on Pinterest? You might not know this, but Pinterest is one of the fastest growing websites right now, and it is also a robust search engine that can lengthen the lifespan of a piece of content. So if your content's just on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, it has kind of a finite lifespan, but on Pinterest, it has the longest lifespan out of anywhere online. So it will live for longer, meaning more people are going to see your content and your content's going to be doing more work for you. I really liked that idea of like, it was going to prolong the lifespan of my content and introduce my content to new audiences. So I decided to experiment with it in October. In October, I started posting all my Instagram photos, all my TikToks, and creating individual graphics for old YouTube videos, and I posted all of those on there. Well, the TikToks did do the best. The others started to do well as well. By the time December came around, I was consistently hitting 700,000 monthly views on Pinterest. And if that in itself doesn't impress you, my number one external source to both my YouTube and my Instagram, I would also guess my TikTok, but they don't give you this data, is Pinterest. If you're ready to learn more about how you can grow your platform through Pinterest, definitely stay tuned. The first thing I do when I'm using Pinterest is to create my monthly schedule. Now, I've seen online before that you're supposed to post like 10 pins a day, and I definitely do not do that. I post about 2 pins a day. Usually I post on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I'll post whatever Bookstagram photo I have, and then also a graphic. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, I will post 2 graphics. So at the beginning of every month, I sit down with my Notion calendar and I schedule that all out, as well as what the content topics are going to be for those different pins. Obviously for the Instagram photos, I don't really need a topic, but for the graphics, I like to try to recycle old YouTube videos as well as make graphics for upcoming YouTube videos that month. I jot down any sort of content ideas that is going to be going up on YouTube, or maybe bigger content ideas like a newsletter magnet or something like that. Then I also look into like my favorite quotes, my favorite journal prompts, because I like to make pins with that type of stuff too. Pinterest is a really robust search engine, and it's also the place that a lot of people go to search for things that are more aesthetic. So quotes and aesthetic boards and stuff like that do really well on Pinterest. The third thing I do when I'm planning out what sort of content I want to plan is I look to see if there are any holidays, and then I create holiday specific content because people search holiday related things or seasonal things a lot on Pinterest. After I'm done and have all my ideas written, I schedule them out into my Notion calendar. I also schedule in 2 days a month to upload my TikTok. So I'll upload 2 weeks of TikToks at once. I just upload them all like in one giant batch, and I call it my pin power hour, although it usually doesn't take an hour to schedule out 2 weeks of TikToks. So I have the graphics, the Instagram photos, and the TikToks all on my Pinterest. Once all my content ideas are finalized in my Notion calendar, then I go over to Canva to create the graphics. I'm sure we all know what Canva is, but if you don't know what Canva is, it is a free graphic design tool. I highly recommend checking it out. They have Pinterest templates that you can choose from. Sometimes I will use their Pinterest templates. Sometimes I will use my own ideas and just kind of design it for fun. This does take a while to design all the graphics, I will warn you. So something that I really like to do is I like to make it kind of like an arts and crafts time. I take 2 hours every single month just to design some pin graphics, and sometimes I'll design a bunch in advance for multiple months. It just depends on my current schedule. And again, like I said, I see it as arts and crafts. So it's just me having fun on Canva. When I decide how to design the graphics, I think of one, what is a search term someone would use to find this YouTube video or this free newsletter magnet, whatever it may be. So for example, I have a magnet, which is also linked down below, which is called The 2 Secrets to Growing Your Author Platform or Book Blog. And I give my top tips to using Pinterest and TikTok. For this magnet, I will then create like 6 graphics and it'll say 2 secrets to grow your booktube, 2 secrets to grow your bookstagram, 2 secrets to grow your author tube, 2 secrets to grow your author platform. I will kind of design them to make them look pretty and then put it online. That is something that someone might be searching. Someone might be searching how to grow your author platform, and then they would come upon my graphic. When I'm creating like the actual design for the graphics, a tip I heard which works really well for me is 1, of course, make them look aesthetically pleasing, but 2, search the terms where you think that graphic might come up in, see what the design looks like for all those different graphics, and then make yours stand out. So if all the graphics are in really neutral tones, try to use some jewel tones or bold colors so that your graphics will stand out when someone's scrolling on Pinterest. Another hint I will give you is if you are going to be creating original pin graphics, try to use your own photos. 1, I think this is better just because then you're not getting into any messy copyright zones. And 2, it's easier because then people can connect with you personally instead of some weird stock image of someone writing, it's you writing. And that can just be really powerful for your overall brand. Now we have our schedule, we have our pins created, so next is scheduling out all the pins. What I do to schedule out the pins is I start by downloading all the different files from Canva, and I actually rename them the day that I want to post that pin so there's no confusion when it comes time to schedule. I know some people use Tailwind to schedule with, and that can be a really great option. I personally am on a shoestring budget, so I do not use Tailwind because you do have to pay for it. But luckily, Pinterest allows you to schedule out 2 weeks of pins at a time. So what I do is I just drag the image with the date as the file name over into Pinterest, and then I type in a title, which is usually really similar to the text on the graphic, or I'll just say like writer aesthetic or bookstagram aesthetic or bookstagram ideas. And then I add in a little description. In the description too, I always add in, for more bookish content, visit my bookstagram, and then the bookstagram link, or visit my booktube and then the booktube link, just so you're giving people a call to action to go and find you on another platform. Then down in the links, I try to make my link as specific as possible. There's nothing worse than being on Pinterest and being really excited to read an article, and then you click on it and it just takes you to like a main YouTube page or a main blog, and you have no clue which video it is because it was actually posted a year ago, but there's been 20 videos on this like updated page and you can't find it anymore. Make sure your links are as specific as possible. Then I just schedule it out, and again, I like to have 2 scheduled for each day. After that, I will look to see when was the last day Pinterest let me schedule for, and then I will go on the next day and just drop in the file images and do 2 more weeks. I also, like I said earlier, will schedule in 2 days to upload all my TikToks onto Pinterest, but that is basically how scheduling works. Here are some general tips. So something I get asked about a lot when it comes to me saying you need to get on Pinterest is people freak out about their boards because they think they have too many boards or their boards are blah, blah, blah. At least in my experience, the boards don't matter a lot, but I would recommend any board that doesn't relate to your overall content pillars, you create as a private board so you can like switch it to private so only you can see it. I have a lot of private boards, and then I think like 4 or 5 boards that people can see. I will say that those boards are very disorganized, and I don't think you need to stress about organizing your boards, especially starting out. My next general tip might scare some people away, and maybe it should, but Pinterest is not the nicest place online. So I've had a lot of people say some very mean things to me on Pinterest. These mean comments usually come in response to my TikToks. A story of us when this happened once is that someone posted on one of my TikToks on Pinterest and said, I don't know what it is, but I just really hate everything about this girl. And 6 different people responded to this comment and said, oh, thank God, I thought I was the only one. Oh my gosh, I thought everyone liked her. I'm so glad someone else doesn't like her. And it was really hard to read those comments. They hated everything about me, not just that one TikTok. So people can be very savage on Pinterest, which I was not expecting when I got into the Pinterest game. Be warned to have a thick skin, and if you do not want that sort of retribution, maybe don't try to post TikToks at first and just create like graphics or post your Instagram photos, because I haven't gotten as many mean comments on those. Those comments are usually really positive. When you do create the graphics, keep in mind that video graphics perform really well on Pinterest. All you need to do to make a video graphic is literally have like 4 seconds of footage. 4 seconds of footage is the minimum. Sometimes when I create a YouTube video, if it's a writing blog, I will take a 4-second video of me typing on my computer, and I'll do it like vertical, and then I'll add it into the Pinterest template and then add text over it. And those usually do really well. So it doesn't have to be a huge video production, but videos do catch the eye on Pinterest. My last tip is that Pinterest is an investment. It's not an instant gratification game. You're not gonna become an overnight Pinterest star. That just doesn't even exist. My first few graphics actually didn't do that well at first. They only got like 100 or 200 views. And then I went back and looked at some of my first graphics I created in October a couple months later, and they had well over 1,000 views each. Pinterest is a long game. You are going to get amazing dividends on your investment if you put the time into Pinterest, but you won't see them overnight. I think Pinterest is great if you really want to get your content out to a bigger audience, and if you want to make less content that does more work for you. If you're looking to grow super fast, Pinterest might not be the platform for you, just because again, it is kind of that long game thing, and you really have to put a lot of thought and effort into your Pinterest strategy. If you want more tips on Pinterest, definitely check out that free email guide down below. And I would love to know, have you used Pinterest before? And if so, what are your thoughts on creating original pins and how it went? And if you haven't used Pinterest, do you think you'll start using Pinterest in the future? Just a real quick introduction at like the end of the video, lol. I am author Angela Ann, the friend of all the good YA book recs and literary lifestyle tips. Usually I post book recommendations videos, reading vlogs, writing vlogs, but sometimes I'll post videos like this, and I would love to have you along on our bookworm fam, so definitely subscribe down below if you're not already. If you enjoyed this video or got any tips out of it, please feel free to give it a thumbs up so more people can find this video. As always, I will see you in my next video and down in the comments.